Happy Saturday, December 30th. It's hard to believe we're at the end of another month. And this month was cool and interesting and expanding. Did you follow along with choosing an oil of the month for yourself? So November was Copaiba, which is the oil of unveiling. And this month in December was DDR, which is the oil of transformation, and Tangerine, which is the oil of spontaneity. And I questioned kind of at the beginning of the month, like why are these two oils coming through so strongly? It totally makes sense, especially with the month of December and having Christmas and New Year's and just getting together with family and loved ones. So it's pretty apparent to me why these two oils wanted to be combined together. We've got transformation and then we've got spontaneity. And the biggest thing behind tangerine spontaneity is getting in touch with our inner child, right? Think of being a child and that spontaneity that you feel, getting up every day and not knowing, like, what are we doing today? And just everything is exciting, right? Everything is just what's going to happen. So as we finish off this month, I hope that you do take some time to reflect on your month, because each of us are going to be totally different, right? We're all growing and expanding and healing at different rates. And so you really want to focus on what you are able to transform and shift in your life. So something that I definitely noticed this month is, yes, that I did welcome in more fun. I welcomed in more spontaneity. I welcomed in more transformation. And really and truly, the biggest part of that is just being open to growth and transformation and messages and whatever may come through, and trusting in such big ways. Because for me, for example, so we're ending a 4-year cycle. And when I say the 4-year cycle, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, that 4-year cycle is ending. Yay. We're moving into 2024 with some freaking new energy. It just feels really good. It feels good. There's still stuff shifting. Perhaps you felt it in various ways in our lives. It's not all just going to be like, this is going to change or that's going to change. It's going to be different, right? It's going to be different for each of us. So it might be some of us shift up our working time, our workout time, our, routine in the morning, meal prepping, trying to figure out like some better ways of doing that. Like just little things that may not make sense to me, but it might make sense to you. And what I choose may not make sense to you, but it might make sense to me 100%, right? So it's really and truly using these videos as a guide, right? Anyone that you listen to, anyone that you may come across, because they live a different life than you do. They live a different life than I do, right? So it's hearing this information and allowing yourself to figure out how it can kind of shift and work in your life, if that makes sense to you. Frequency came up a lot for us in this month. Frequency, whole body health. The past few months, we've brought in a new modality into our family health. And so osteopathy and acupuncture has been freaking amazing, like incredibly amazing. Some of the tensions that I've been holding on to for a long time, like the past 4 years, are finally dissipating, and it feels amazing. There's certain areas that need more focus. There's certain areas that I know there's going to be incredible growth in 2024. One thing I wanted to share is, and I'm going to share what I'm going to be doing for moving forward for 2024. If you have oracle cards, which I've shared on here many times, if you have oracle cards, what I would suggest, so I've got a couple out, which I'm going to be using. These ones are the Rose Oracle, and I've also got the Earth and Soul Oracle. So what I'm going to use those for is, and I'm going to show you this. So last year I went through, and so there's a square for every month. Okay. So for example, for December, and I used 2 sets of cards, which I'm going to do again. So for December, the blue flame, spontaneous activation, awakening, integration time. That to me completely crosses over with tangerine and DDR. Spontaneity, transformation. As part of an awakening, you're transforming, right? Integration, you're integrating new codes into your body. It could be light codes, it could be spiritual, like whatever. You're integrating that into your energy body. And then the other card that came up for December at the beginning of January was deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held. Fill your own inner well. The feminine is bountiful, fertile, and rich. The amount that you have to give multiplies. Go within to replenish. Grounding, abundance, and fertility. What nourishes you is your medicine. Do something that deeply replenishes you today. So it all, like, energy is freaking fascinating. It is so fascinating. At the beginning of the year, these cards will not make sense to you. But as you go through every month, they will 100% make sense. So in November, the card that came up was Awakening. And that's when I started sharing about, let's focus on 1 or 2 oils a month and see how these oils, because there's frequency behind these oils, see how these oils can work together with our spiritual shift and energy that we're already doing, and see what can happen. So it's really freaking cool. So one thing I want to share before I forget is I got a few new things for Christmas, which I love. So I'm still learning about crystals, but I want to share about them because it's really cool. So the green one here is Adventurine, a stone of prosperity, purpose, and luck. It encourages success in all journeys and helps soothe the soul, allowing flow and harmony. These work together to bring forward a pathway filled with positivity and abundance. And the statement is, I am successful. The other one that I got is Tiger's Eye, this one here, and it's so beautiful. The colors are just incredible. A stone that encourages goal setting and motivation. It encourages inner strength, that like a tiger, and the action to fulfill your dreams without the presence of fear pulling you back. So the affirmation is, I am motivated. And then the other one that came is this one. And it's a really simple looking bracelet. It's this one I'm turning. Kind of like a gray, it's a different, like a grayish goldish color, kind of. It goes really nice together with the Tiger's Eye. And I like how the Adventurine, it pops. It's a great reminder I am successful. So I'm still remembering these. So the Pyrite, a stone of abundance and wealth. It encourages the warmth of the sun and the ability to create one's own sense of wealth. It brings forward flow in ideas that bring strength into self-potential. And the affirmation is, I am wealthy. What I love about this is that these all go together. They all go together. And it's incredible because it all affects our energy and our energy body. And what's interesting is, so which one? Not the Tiger's Eye. Where did that one go? There it is, Pyrite. The one that says, so I am wealthy. That means something different and individual to each of us, right? My definition of wealthy is not going to be your definition of wealthy because it's not just about money. It's more than that. It's deeper than that. It's spending time together. It's, for me, capturing pictures, capturing the art of the world. Your life is art. That's exactly where I came up with my website tagline. Your life is art. That's what it should be. And art to each of us is completely individual. Because some paintings and pictures will be more valuable to you than they will be to me. And that's okay. It's finding our truth and not going with like the universal wealth or rich. Like, what does that mean? right? Who defines what wealthy or rich is? We define it for ourselves. I know I live a rich, rich life because I have a home to come home to with family here. And that to me is rich. When I was little, I always wanted to be a mom. So that to me is so rich and I feel wealthy. I do. It's individual. I bought my new camera in November, an early Christmas present to me. That made me feel so rich and wealthy because it was exactly what I wanted. And I love it. I love it. It was worth every single dollar to me. I love it. So what is rich to you? What is wealthy to you? So those came for Christmas. And also I got this very beautiful, simple citrine ring. So simple and so beautiful. I also got a tiger's eye ring, which is also extremely beautiful. It's bigger, so I don't wear them all at the same time, but this one, the citrine ring. So citrine, a stone of healing and happiness. It cleanses and regenerates, carrying the power of the sun within it. Citrine is bright and cheery, encouraging happiness, joy, and abundance of all things sunshine. And the affirmation is, I am happy. So it really and truly is about getting in touch with your inner truth and going with that, whatever it is, right? That's all that matters. So moving into like the completion of January or December has been pretty cool. This month has been growth. It's been a reminder of trusting, big time, big time trusting, and knowing that all is well. All is well. Always. In all ways. The past 4 years has been a huge, 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 huge growth opportunity. It's also been a big test of when I say trust is a word. Did I write down what my word was for this year? I don't think I did write it down. Anyway, trust has been huge for me for the past few years. And this year alone, it was trusting that we weren't getting into the same pattern. And it was hard because when my son needed a second surgery, it was like, what's happening? We're now going down the same path. Not the exact same path, but a very similar path that we went down with my husband. And what I can very clearly see now for myself is when it was me with my husband. So it was October 2020. So it was still like new C19 times. I know I'm healing deep. I know I've been affected with PTSD, 100%. And I'm acknowledging that and I'm honoring that because one thing that I have realized this year is I couldn't do a lot of the appointments with our son alone. And that was simply just pulling up everything from what I had to deal with alone with all my husband's appointments. And I'm grateful that I've had him as a rock for me, that I can be there for him too. But I can see where I'm also shifting and expanding even more into the new year, and that all will be okay. Yes, I am saying this. I'm speaking it out into the universe. All will be okay. All will be well. So moving forward, I'm not going to do it on this video because I encourage everyone to do this themselves. I've got my cards. I also got a singing bowl, which I just picked up yesterday. So I have a senior dog that forgets when he goes in and out. The same place where I got these bracelets, she had a very generous, extremely generous Boxing Day sale. And I've always wanted a singing bowls, but this is the solar plexus singing bowl. Just a moment. What I find fascinating, so when I saw this, I went ahead and ordered it instantly. This, I got a rose quartz tower. So it's like this, but much bigger. It's actually probably, I think it's that big. As soon as I saw it, I said yes. And I thought, where are you putting it? And then I knew we have a hexagon window at the front of our house. That's where it's sitting. So when the sun comes in that window, it's coming in through the rose quartz. And if we all know rose quartz encourages love, happiness, like all that good stuff, right? So that, and then I also got the blue lace agate crystal, because when I looked it up, I was drawn to it, first of all. So whatever you're drawn to, don't question it. You may want to look up, okay, what's the meaning of this? Which is what I did. I messaged her and said, I want that too. And then I looked it up and thought, I should probably know what this is good for. So blue lace agate, it's beautiful. I should have brought it in. It looks like a normal stone on the back, and then it's got this beautiful, like the blue lace agate inside of it. It is good for relaxation, sleep, replenishment. So it is now beside my bed, which is interesting because I woke up. Interesting, actually. I put it there last night, and I woke up this morning and I said to my husband, I feel like I need a little bit more sleep. And I did. I stayed in bed a little bit longer. So that's cool. So it was giving me what I needed. So then I looked up, so I already ordered this. I looked up the solar plexus singing bowl. And you know what's really cool? You know the stones that go with it? Citrine and tiger's eye. Energy doesn't lie. Energy is really, really cool. Energy is really cool. So anyway, I am going to learn how to use this. I don't really know. I've kind of been playing with it. Not that way. I'm not sure if you'll hear it on the video, but I'm excited to play more with that, especially moving into the new year. And then I'm going to share with you a couple oils that I didn't think I was going to do this today. I thought I was going to be doing this maybe towards the beginning of the month, like Monday. But when I was looking at tangerine, there's an oil that caught my eye. And it's an oil I probably haven't used in years. So I found it interesting. Like, why are you catching my eye? And then I looked. So it's star anise, which I know many of you probably are not going to have this oil, star anise. It was available through doTERRA years ago, but I have to go with it. I have to follow the energy. So this came through very strongly. And then the other one that came through is Whisper, which these two do go together. So I'm going to share a little bit about moving into January with star anise and Whisper. So star anise is the oil of soulful femininity. Star anise has a warm, bolstering aroma that mirrors its emotional qualities. This plant embodies strong, calm, and reassuring energy. Now I understand why this came up so clearly for me. It enfolds all that is one, inviting them to come to a sense of wholeness. From this state of wholeness, individuals are free to journey beyond where they have been before and learn to dance their heart song. Wow. Star anise is uplifting, balancing, and comforting to the careworn. It has the ability to be both flowing, oh my lord, and consistent at the same time. It is helpful for reducing states of extreme contraction and moving individuals towards expansion. Star anise guides the mind and body into a place of rest and regeneration before it awakens it to rise and thrive again. If an individual is feeling worn down, this oil can reignite their inner spark, filling the fountain of their heart to overflowing once more. Star anise reminds of the need for self-care or for individuals to first stoke their inner fire in order to send out an unbridled love and strength to the world in need of what they bring. Star anise has a beautiful feminine quality that works to strengthen and align female energy. Symbolically, star anise represents a sacred element that speaks to the soul energy on that plane. Its warm, nurturing embrace feels ancient and sacred. It reminds individuals that they are an empowered being of infinite worth. Wow. Negative emotions that it supports is incomplete, powerless, careworn, suppressed, weak, contracted, suppressed, feminine power. Positive properties that it will promote is whole, powerful, reawakened, regenerated, thriving, calm, consistent, confident, expansive, strong, empowered femininity. Well, look at that. My goodness. Now I 100% see why Star Anise needs to come forward for me for January. So that is pretty freaking cool. So as I said, we're also going to combine it with Whisper. Now Whisper I have in a bottle here, but it actually only comes in a roller now, which is all good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a roller bottle with both of these in it. And I'm going to put it in my bathroom. And every morning I'm going to put these on. So if you have an account with doTERRA, I just actually got some of these. So I'm going to make up a roller bottle. Whisper is the oil of femininity. So there you go. That's how they go together. But the benefits of Whisper are not limited to women alone. While this blend possesses a strong feminine quality, female energy is often needed by both men and women. Whisper softens overly masculine individuals by getting them in touch with their feminine side. It encourages letting go of pride and tough exteriors and allows gentleness and emotional connection. It is also particularly helpful when dealing with issues that manifest as anger, hostility, or resistance toward women. Whisper has also assisted individuals in healing their relationship with their mothers, grandmothers, and other women. It helps one reconnect with their mother when there has been a strain, separation, loss, or abuse in the relationship. Both men and women can reject the feminine aspects of sexuality as a result of traumatic experiences. This blend challenges individuals to work through issues relating to femininity and sexuality. So one thing I can say is work through issues and traumatic experiences. So after my husband had his accident and then proceeded to have 3 surgeries, I then had to step up. And this is nothing against him because he was in a really crappy place. I had to step up and I had to take over the household in all aspects. I'm grateful that I was able to do what I needed to do at the time. And I'm grateful that our son, who was early teens at the time, he kind of had to step up, or he did step up, without us, demanding that of him or asking it of him. But I really could see after, hindsight is 2020, I could really see after how I was putting myself into that doing mode all the time. So instead of being, which a lot of women, or women in general, we need to have that time where we can just be. If we're in that doing movement and energy all the time, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So as my husband was finally healing, still dealing with incredible amounts of pain, and it will never be the same, unfortunately. That's when we kind of entered into our son having some issues. So it was like, when's mom going to get a break? When's Pam going to get a break? As a wife and mom, and then the guilt piled on me because it was like, well, you're the wife and mom. Like, this is your job. You're supposed to do this. Don't complain about it. You're supposed to do this. You wanted the kids. You wanted the husband. Don't complain about it. But let's be real. Life can be really fucking hard sometimes. Don't sugarcoat and don't pretend. Nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. No one needs to be perfect. And if someone tells you they're perfect, let them believe it. That's fine. Move on. We don't need these false ideologies that just don't align with the world where we're headed, right? And I know that's a big part of it. One other thing I wanted to share. Yes. So I also got this little necklace. This is another crystal thing. I also got this little simple, beautiful necklace. I love it. It is just, it's so simple and so beautiful. So it is labradorite, a stone of transformation. Like, hello, DDR, transformation, and I got a stone of transformation. It strengthens faith in self and trust in the universe, creating an alignment of intuition. Helpful through change, as it reminds the body and soul that you're always on the journey that is meant for you. And the affirmation is, I am magical. So it's really cool. The more you pay attention to your everyday life and how things tie together, it's going to flow even more beautiful. Even more beautiful than you ever imagined. And yes, even dealing with whatever shit may come about, whatever dramas that surface, because that's the other thing too. In December, it was interesting. November, actually focusing on unveiling. If there was an eyelash just fell. If there was a thought that came up that for whatever reason was from the past or whatever that might have been upsetting, instead of trying to just, that's in the past, like, stop. I don't need to think of that anymore. Embrace it. Embrace it and figure out why it's coming up. Did you not process it properly before? Chances are not. Because for many of us, when you go through something really shitty, you just want to get through it and you don't want to deal with it again. But if you don't actually clear and transmute that energy, it's just packing down, packing down, packing down. And eventually it's going to come up. So November and December for me, it was a lot of trust the unveiling, trust the transformation, trust the spontaneity. You may not want to go do this, but you should go do this. There was a lot of that. And it was really cool, actually, how everything kind of unfolded, but also honoring me. So I know I need sleep, and I'm honoring that in very big ways, because if I don't get sleep, it affects every area of my life. It's okay to say that. I got to go because I got to go to bed. Nothing wrong with that. Limiting yourself on social media, totally okay too. Because a lot of it's fake. A lot of it is fake. I'm really conflicted with all this AI stuff coming out. Interesting, I used the word stuff. In my brain, I did not. It's not real. And as a photographer, that's where I have a really challenging time with it, because I'm seeing people posting pictures on Instagram and like whatever, and that they used AI. And as a photographer, like I don't do a lot of post editing. I do some, obviously, but I don't use and I won't use AI to transform my images, because it's just, I'm not a photographer that likes posing people, and obviously I do. The past few years for Christmases, we have made a point of taking group pictures. But to me, that's different than taking posed like individual. Like I would rather take pictures of people. So at all of our Christmas events, at all of our holiday events, stuff like that, I just go around and take pictures. Real people, real life. That's what I value. That's what I love looking back on. The real moments where you look at the picture and you're like, I can feel the energy. I can feel, I don't know what they're talking about, but look at their faces. I can feel that energy. Your life is art. 100%. 100%. So lean in. Lean in these last 2 days of December and watch how magic January is going to be. I'm excited.